Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, but first, as always, the weather. It's been foggy these couple of mornings. That's brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Highway 77. We're looking at a high today of 80 and a low of 62, and the water temperature is jumping another degree. It's 73 degrees. It's sort of like a up and down. It's fascinating how it's been has worked like this, but it's 73 degrees this morning. And we've got the rest of this week looks really good weather with this front, either late this afternoon or Thursday morning will be coming through, and it will have an effect on that, on some of the fishing, but we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know how strong it's going to be, so I'm going to certainly try it out. It's always good now, remember, if you can fish right before that front comes in. I don't care if it's fresh water, salt water, if you can just get on the water before the front comes in. There's a lot of activity going on in the woods too. If you're an outdoorsman, you know those things. So I just want to remind you, if you get an opportunity to get out before that front, always do that. We've got those fronts coming in all winter, and they're strong later on, but not quite as strong right now. Okay, river readings. After I go to Bluntstown, of course, our river reading is brought to us by Sandhill Seafood, and heard some good reports from our viewers going up there. Callie went all the way down from Gracefield and had a big old seafood platter. She called me and told me how good it was. So, Callie, glad you enjoyed it. The Apalachicola Bluntstown, 2.8, not much movement. Got a little bit of dropping over the weekend, but it's almost flatlined there, as is the Choctawhatchee at Caryville. It's at a 5.3. So both rivers, not much movement at all. So it's going to be, again, a pretty weekend setting up on the rivers. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Looking at that now, today is November the 8th on a Wednesday, and we're looking at, don't forget now, 2 weeks from tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. That's hard to believe, but look on the 8th at what a strong tide we have. The rest of this week, we got a low tide this morning at 10:12 and a high tide at 11:45. I haven't done our fishing game times yet, but I can promise you they're going to be later on in the afternoon, because that's when our tides will be peaking out. Okay, the marine forecast will be west-northwest at about 5 to 10. So that's our outdoor weather. All these important things, every little thing I talk about on here is important to outdoorsmen. So that wind's not going to be bad. It's going to be a good, it's been a beautiful day, so it's going to continue today. Let's take our break. We'll be back with our special guest. Welcome back, and welcome to our monthly guest here, Captain Rick Corley.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Rick and I have been talking a lot. We're talking in between our shows and all during the month, and 2 or 3 different things, all kinds of things come up and all. But one thing we talked about the qualifications for a marine surveyor. Now, we got a big show lined up. We got this coming up. We got some pictures coming up next segment. So let's get started first, though. I can't all of a sudden walk in the door and say I'm a marine surveyor.
Well, you can, but
it won't work.
It won't work. Somebody will wind up putting you in court so fast make your head swim.
Yeah, but I know what a boat looks like. I know the front end and the back end. Mm-hmm. People say that, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
or they've had a boat for 30 years and that qualifies. No. Or I've got a captain's license. Well, yeah, but there's a long way between being a captain and being a surveyor. And a surveyor doesn't always make a good captain and vice versa.
So fortunately, we got qualifications and we got a code of ethics and all that. So let's talk about it. Let's let people know. We've never talked about this.
Let me just read this. This is from the handbook. That my father was one of the founding members of the National Association of Marine Surveyors, and now they call it global because they're international. But they've been around since 1962, and he was one of the first 12 to get together up in New York and start this organization, because the insurance companies had come to some of these guys that they had been kind of relying on to say, hey, what's wrong with this boat? And why did we insure it and then it have this problem? They began to realize, and when they really got into it was in 1958 when fiberglass started. Nobody knew anything about fiberglass. So by 1962, they were having some problems because they still were finding out how to make it cure and how strong to make it and so on. So they hired these guys in an indirect way. They got them together. The old Continental North America, which is now Boat US, CNA, was one of the sponsors of it, and they got them all together up in New York, and there was 12 of them, and says, all right, you guys are the experts. Tell us what we ought to do. So they formed the National Association of Marine Surveyors, and it really didn't get off the ground to the level of having certification and all that till 68. Okay. And so they've been going strong since then. It's not the biggest organization now, but it's the oldest. And the best, in my opinion. I've been in all the others, but I'll read you right quick some of the things. It says here, for example, it says, applicants shall not have less than 5 years of active survey experience. In other words, applicants for membership shall devote at least 3/4, 75% of their business activity time to professional practice of hull machinery or marine facility, cargo, or yacht surveying. In other words, you are going to be a surveyor. You're not going to be a part-timer. In other words, you're not going to be a wannabe and play in this. You're serious about it. This is the way you make your living. Says applicants shall not have less than 2 years of activity as a marine surveyor plus additional experience attained in a marine industry closely related to marine surveying. And this experience shall be credited on a 1-for-2 basis. In other words, for every 2 days you'll get 1 day's credit. Okay. And it says experience would include, but not limited to, service as a Coast Guard or American Bureau of Shipping Standards field inspectors engaged in vessel investigation duties, shipyard superintendents, estimators, employees in yards engaged in the facet of marine construction and repair, supercargoes, or other disciplines that are evaluated by the screening committee, the board of directors, and them look at it. Now, once you make that transition that you're going to become a surveyor, here's the one that's real important, and this some of them don't do in other disciplines, and they get in trouble. Applicants must not be engaged in the marine industry in any other capacity such as shipyard work, marine or related brokerage or sales, or marine stores where people buy it. Because look at it this way, if a surveyor goes out and he has a shipyard, well, he's approving his own work. No, you can't do that. That's a conflict of interest.
That's not
you can't
ethical.
do that. It's unethical behavior.
You give them all kind of breaks and all. Hey, if
you'll do this, we'll do this. Yeah. No. And the other thing is, if you're on a boat store, some people say, well, that's no big deal. I said, yes, it is, because now you tell the guy something's wrong with it, and he said, well, where can I get that? Well, I know just the place. Come to my store. Yeah. Well, you're promoting your store, And are you really finding something wrong, or are you finding something wrong so you can sell him something?
And that's why you never had a store, or you never
Nope.
had. I mean, you were complete. You were.
I grew up in the shipyard, but when I made that transition to marine surveying, the yard was at arm's length. No, it's gone.
It's very ethical, but you know,
Yeah.
and it's in the bylaws right there.
That's correct. Now,
good.
Dad wrote this as the Marine Surveyor's Code of Ethics. This was written in 1962.
Okay, let's take a break.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Okay,
Sure.
it's a good time to take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're Captain Rick Corley. We're talking about a Marine Surveyor's Code of Ethics. So let's wrap this up. But this is so important that we, you know, every profession you're in, there's a code of ethics. Whether you're a teacher or a lawyer or whatever you do, you got a code of ethics, and this is a good one here.
Yeah, my dad wrote this back in 1962. It says, "For the benefit of all parties at interest, let it be known that a Marine surveyor does not take sides in any issue. Our mission is to cite and question where necessary, sufficient to reach a conclusion in all cases assigned, and to file an accurate report of same, regardless of who is helped or who is hurt. We are neither for or against anyone. We don't make the conditions whatever. We only search for and report them. We stand ready at all times to defend our findings." Well, and I've had to do that, and it's the way to do it. Now, there has been some things I had up in Georgia. I had a situation we were talking about. A gentleman bought a boat. He didn't realize that they were kind of being hoodooed, as well as the Marine surveyor was, because he was a young surveyor, brand new, and he didn't catch on to what the broker was doing, and a broker was unscrupulous. Well, he sold the boat to him, and he got down to a place not far from here. And the mechanic down there knows me, and when he ran into the seeing this, he called me, and he says, "You need to come look at the boat." And I've got this guy, and I've talked to him. I told him, I says, "You need to have a good surveyor look at this. I think you've got a case." Well, I went and looked, and sure enough, the boat was in bad shape in the stern, and then it had a stern drive, and back in that compartment, it was terrible. I mean, it was obvious it had been going on a long, long, long time. So when I interviewed the guy, he said, "Well, yeah, they couldn't haul the boat, and they pulled it partway out on the trailer, and here's the pictures." Well, they put it on the trailer and pulled it up far enough that the good part showed, but nothing else. And so it's obvious. Well, I went up and played the part of a customer, and I went to this particular marina and asked him, I said, "You know, I've got a boat and I'm coming up here. I want to haul it out. Have we got anything that's big enough to haul this boat? Oh, yeah, there's a big travel lift down there, handle up to 65 foot. Well, they had told him the reason they had to haul on a trailer was there was nothing that could haul a boat around there big enough, and they couldn't pull it out far enough. They just pulled it up so they didn't do the bottom. So once I proved that, the man got his money back. They took the boat, whatever they did with it, I don't know. But we saw the case before going to court. But there are people in this business, I hate to say it, in any business, that are unscrupulous, and when that happens, you go. Now, the other side of the coin, if you go with a surveyor and he does this to you, if, let's say, he owns a shipyard. If it comes up that boat gets damaged and it's found out that, oh, by the way, this guy that owns the shipyard did the survey. Insurance company will pay the claim, but guess what else they'll do? They'll cancel your policy immediately after that, and you'll have a stigma on you. When you go to try to get insurance, you have misrepresented your claim, you misrepresented your application, nobody will insure you. Well, now, today, just about every marina wants you to have a liability policy.
Right. So you can't get.
You got nowhere to dock. You'll have to anchor out every time because they won't let you come in the marina because you can't get insurance and you ain't got insurance. They don't want you, and so it can create a hornet's nest of problems for the boat owner. He thought he was getting a good deal and he was being had, and I don't like that.
All right. That's some good information for wise words for people who are in the business, and if you got a boat like that. Let's move on now. We got some pictures we got to get caught up on. We'll get back to this later. Let's look at this. Stacy Jones Steele, Ben Steele's better half. Look at what that big old buck she got over the weekend at the Seven Oaks Hunt Club. A big old smile. I got several pictures. Isn't that a great picture?
Pretty.
That's the Beauty and the Beast and the big buck. And of course we know about Ben. Ben, look at that tattoo.
Yeah.
Ben Steele, always a good guy, a good baseball player for us, and what a sweet and beautiful wife he has. And
nice looking lady to have such poor taste.
Well, they love to hunt. They love to do things exactly. They love to hunt together and all. And that's a nice buck she got. And there's a crew up there. I see. I recognize some of those ugly bugs. Yep. Look at that. Good job there. Now, read this next email, folks. My wife and I love to go frogging on Lake Seminole. Here's a picture of 35 frogs my wife caught in about 2 hours while camping at Three Rivers State Park. We got 62 in 3 nights. I drive the boat and she grabs them. She don't miss very often. Also could put our names in the pickle jar. Dennis Scott and Mary Lou Scott. Folks, she catches those frogs with her hands. She don't gig them.
That's quick.
I mean, I'm so impressed, Mary Lou. That's awesome, and we don't see that. We don't get a lot of those pictures.
I wonder if she's ever caught a snake that way.
I don't know. I have to ask him. Dennis, let me know about the snakes in that situation. Good job. That's a great email right there. Thank y'all for sharing it. Also, Junior Hagler talking about the wife doing. Look, he took his wife fishing. She caught the big fish.
That's usually the way it goes.
On the Apalachicola River, Junior Hagler. Also, Andy Howard, nice catch. These triggerfish. Yeah, triggerfish.
That's a bunch of suitcases.
This weekend, that's what they call them. This weekend, some triggerfish is open, an extra weekend. Of course, here's a good picture here of one of my former students, Trent Poe. Trent, he had a decent day. He caught a pompano and a couple of redfish.
Yeah.
That's not a bad day on the water. Good job, Trent. I want to read this because this is from an old high school buddy of mine, Steve Kane, up there in Liberty County. He's talking about his granddaughter. I'm going to show you the picture. Addison Kane, that's Jason Kane's daughter. She is in the 5th grade and attends Hosford Elementary School. She's a cheerleader. She's on the Hosford volleyball team. She's an all-around girl and a very caring child. She loves fishing and hunting. And look what she did. Let me find a picture now. I got to find a picture. I have to get back. Let me go find a picture. But anyway, here it is right here. Here's the picture right here.
Oh, nice trout.
Great.
That's a redfish.
Steve Kane's granddaughter, Jason's daughter, Addison. Isn't that a great picture?
Yeah,
right
I thought it was a trout at first, but I see the spot.
Yeah, nice redfish. Okay. Let's take a break. I got some more pictures to show you. Let's go and take a break. We'll come right back. Okay, welcome back. It's here with Captain Rick. Let's look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe. Good folks down there at a nice store. 3:31 to 5:31 this morning. Just past it, but look at here, this afternoon, 4:01 to 6:01. Remember early part of the show, I talked about the tide. It's going to be coming in strong. It's going to be an excellent time to fish later on this afternoon, I promise you. So if you get a chance to get out there, by all means do. Okay, we want to, let's catch up on these pictures here. Let's look at this one right here. The mayor sent this to me. Ben Thomas from Chattanooga, Tennessee caught this bonefish locally with the local fly fishing guide, Captain Steve Bachman. We don't get a lot of bonefish up here.
I've never seen one here.
It's rare to get a bonefish up here.
I've never seen one.
Every now and then they catch one or two. So,
usually the farthest you'll find them is about Fort Myers, north.
Yeah,
of the Keys.
you're right. Now let's go to one of the next thing. Let's go to a heartwarming story, if I can get off of it. I can't get off. One of the things, Rick, on these bonefish, I also saw where there's another one called. A guy put a video on. We'll try to pick that up too. Okay, let's look at this right here. This is Camo Dreams. Okay, this is Adam Whitney. Derek Fussell sent this. This young lady got her Savannah going out with Camo Dreams with Derek Fussell, and there's her Camo Dream shirt. They took her out to Colorado, I believe it's Colorado, and she really did well. Okay,
wow.
Look at that.
Mule deer.
How about that?
Yeah.
Now, I got a couple of pictures of it. That one's not going to be focused.
Yeah,
but okay, let's go.
That's a mule deer.
Okay, yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, it took her out there. Derek had a great trip with her, and her dad went out there. So good job, Camo Dreams. What a heartwarming story. Now let's go from a heartwarming story to a heartbreaking story. This past weekend, there were a couple of boating accidents. We always talk about safety on here, safety. And if you remember, Kyle Pridgeon was on the show a couple of weeks ago on bass fishing. They set up this bass fishing league tournament. Well, he and Randy Sonoda were out Saturday at a big bass fishing tournament, and he actually got knocked out of a boat. But he was reaching over, and a boat come flying by the intercoastal, and he actually fell out of the boat somehow. I don't know the details. He's doing okay, but he had his life jacket on, so he's okay. But he really got banged up and all, and that's a veteran fishing group right there. Yeah. And so I'm gonna get the details on it, but it was a boating accident. It could have been a tragedy, but it was not. This one is. Check out this picture here, okay? This is up in Lake Talquin, what I call my home lake up there around Quincy. Divers still shift search for missing 10-year-old boy in Lake Talquin, and these pictures sort of tell what's going on there. That's the Gaston County Sheriff Morris Young talking to the family and friends at the boat landing there. And what happened, folks, here's this little boy right here. What a heartbreaking story. This is Skylar. And he was in a boating accident, and they haven't found the body yet. What a heartbreaking story right there, and that sort of sums it up. They're out looking over the lake, waiting to hear word, and I don't know as of yet what if they found them or not. But here's what happened. Is my understanding from reading the reports, and I'll find out more information. Two boats actually collided on Lake Talquin. Yep. One misread the other one or something, and they both went the same way, knocked everybody out of the boat. The grown-ups and some of the others were able to get back to the boat, but that young boy there was not able to. And when we talk about boating safety, you've seen it your whole life. Yep. How the accidents happen, and it's heartbreaking. You hate
having to work them. They're tough. Yeah. The one thing that I can say, and it's not much comfort, when you're out on a boat, you got two situations you must maintain awareness of: what's going on around the boat. Mm-hmm. In other words, your situation awareness is what your traffic's doing, and it can come from 360 degrees. But the other is what's happening on the boat. Yeah. Because if people are not watching and you see something going on, you need to make them know. One of the best case scenarios is a sailboat. You're down below. Mm-hmm. You can't see out of a sailboat down below. Mm-hmm. And here comes a big motor yacht, and he's running a big wake, and he didn't slow down. And you can throw somebody down below and hurt them, mm-hmm. because they don't know to stop and hold on. And if you run the boat, if you're aware of this, first thing you want to do is, hey, everybody, we got a big wake coming, hold on. Well, the people down below hear that, they know to just stop what you're doing, hang on, or sit down, or something. But that's just one scenario. But there's a lot of them out there, and that's the key is situational awareness.
And you're exactly right, because it's the same way driving a car, but even more so on a boat, because you do not have brakes.
Nope.
And I know if you've been on water, you've always been around a situation, if you've been out there a lot, and especially on weekends, on holidays, you can see boat accidents almost happen constantly.
Well, you got to remember, too, a boat weighs as much as the house sometimes. And a car, you're a couple of 3 or 4 tons at the most, but.
Yeah, we're always preaching safety on here, and this will be, and I'm going to call Coach Wilk up at Mosley to get the details on this. It'll be put in our file at Mosley where the boating accidents, we keep a record of it and how it could have been prevented, and probably by situational awareness it would have been prevented, and maybe speed, not quite. Speed has really become a problem on those.
I had a friend the other day, and I don't want to interrupt you, but he asked me, he says, how do you think some of these accidents in the Navy's happening?
Yeah.
And I said, because they're teaching other things other than how to navigate.
We got to get out of here. Thank you, Rick.
Yep.
Okay, listen, we got to get out of here. Thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We always appreciate the viewership. We got a big show lined up tomorrow. Some special guests coming in talking about really neat stuff. Have a great day. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.